outside. Then they left the country for terrorists to come and take it over. Very, very unfortunate. But then, Biafrans, I want you to understand that it is within our reach to be free out of the terrorist Nigerian state. We have to be very much appreciative of the government that we have, Biafran Republic government in Ezra. We have to be very much appreciative of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our first Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpanjoko, and our Prime Minister, Ogechukwu Nkere, the lobbyists and the attorney, for at least what they are doing in Washington, D.C., for the defense of Biafra land. Very, very important. Everybody, Biafrans who have not been supporting this freedom, this is the time to support the freedom of your nation. This is the time to support our Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere, because what he's doing in Washington, D.C. is yielding positive result. You may not see it. He may not have to brief you, but a lot is happening. A lot is happening behind the scene that you may not know. But we want to use this opportunity to call on you, Biafrans in the homeland, to rise up and support our government. Because it is because of this government that what you see that is playing out in Meduguri is not playing out in 40 states of Biafra land. It is because of Ogechukwu Nkere, the Biafran Republic government in exile, the cabinet, the ministers, the attorneys and the lobbyists who are doing exceptionally well, that is making what is happening in Meduguri not to happen in the 40 states of Biafra land. So what do you have to do? You have to come on board and support this government with everything that you have. Very, very important. Support it with your finance. If you can't even support on Saturday donation, why not embrace the special IOU loan, where you can loan our government your money and you get 100% interest rate on it. Very, very important. How long will we continue to fight for Biafra? How long? 1967 to 1970, our fathers fought for Biafra and gave us opportunity of not being overrun and Islamized. This is our time, and we have seen an opportunity. This is the first time in history that the Biafran restoration movement have gotten to Washington, D.C., and our government have to now sit with policymakers of America to talk about Biafra. A lot of you feign ignorance of that. A lot of you don't want to appreciate that. A lot of you don't want to give BRGIE credence. Neither do you want to appreciate the great work that Ogechukwu Nkere, the Prime Minister, is doing in Washington, D.C. You don't want to appreciate that because it is not you that is involved. It is not your brother that is involved, because you feel that, oh, because of your degrees, your professorship, and not degrees, that even the, let me tell you, God has a plan for everything. There is division of labor in Biafra. If you are not choosing, you are not choosing. At this time, it is our Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere that is choosing. His name is Ogechukwu. God's time. This is the time that God wants to use Ogechukwu Nkere to tell Biafran that his time is very, very dear. That his time is the best. And he chooses Ogechukwu Nkere for a time like this. So there is nothing you can do about it. You can feign of the this is the time for us, the government in exile, that able to finalize fight to end, because as it stands now, what is actually missing is finance. We need a lot of finance in order to equip the Biafran Defense Forces so that they can evade the terrorists in our land. The terrorism that we have in Biafra land is orchestrated by the Nigerian government itself. I want you to know that. If you want a confirmation, go and listen to the interview that Gumi has. Gumi wants to tell you that the terrorists are the ones that are in charge of Nigeria. They are the ones whom the Nigerian government are using for terrorism. And Nigerian government know where they are. So when they tell you there is insecurity in anywhere in your community, I want you to know that it is the Nigerian government that is funding this insecurity. And in our land, there cannot be such insecurity as in Borno, as in Kebbi, as in Kaduna, as in Sokoto, as in Benin, as in Middle Belt, because of the actions and activities of the Biafran Defense Forces. And those forces have to be equipped with everything that we have. So Biafrans, this is an opportunity. We call on you to come and join the Biafran Republic government in exile in order to support our total exit from the terrorist Nigerian state. Thank you so much. I yield my mic.
Wow, thank you so very much. Thank you for your submission. Yeah, please, 1 minute, please. And we will start to manage the time. Oh, it's already getting very late. I know somebody will say today is Friday. Guinea. I know. Yeah, I want to make an announcement here.
Where are you going?
Da, 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 da.
Where are you going?
Do you know what the time is in my place? Anyway, today is Friday. Veteran Dragon is still there. But I want to acknowledge a receipt I got right now. I want to tell our brother Senator. Senator has supported the space with a 5 Gemma. Thank you so much, Senator. God bless you. If you are in this space, kindly give us your space donation. All the necessary. Amen Wangwa. Our CEO is always say Amen Wangwa, Amen Wangwa, Amen Wangwa. And if you are just joining the space, you see, if you are just joining the space, kindly share the space. Once you join any space, the first thing you have to do is to share the space. Somebody shared and you got the notification. That is why you are here. Share the space, because Veteran Dragon, please, you have the mic. Thank you so much, King David. God bless you. Rage and Fury, I don't know how your internet is dealing. Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry.
I wanted to react to what David Nana is submission. David Nana, are you blaming Nigeria? Were you expecting Nigerians to do something, knowing fully well that these Nigerians, these brain dead Nigerians, are busy creating content, knowing fully well that Nigerians, these brain dead Nigerians, are busy fighting for monetization? These brain dead Nigerians are busy on TikTok asking for gift me. Nigeria and their citizens are the most useless set of people on earth I have never seen in life. There is no country in this world that what is happening in Nigeria will be happening to, and the citizens of that country will not revolt. It is only in Nigeria. Do you know that I saw a video that I forgot the state where that video this thing happened, that the people, the young youths there are fighting that it is only APC that can host rally in their states. This is what Nigeria has become. The Nigeria itself has reduced Nigerian citizens to nothing. Their brain is dead. All what they are fighting is how to create content, how to monetize their content. These are only thing Nigerians can do. Very useless set of country. Thank you. That is just what I want to tip into your submission. Ndewo.
Ndewo, onye nyere the co-host. Hey, Guinea, Biafrans, I need your support, your space donation. AJ and Ejemma, tomorrow is our fundraising. Veteran, COS, I can see your signal before Veteran Dragon. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
just a minute. Onyenyer, my brother, I agree with you. If there is anything like 500%, I agree with you. Nigerians, the people who answer this name called Nigeria, they are the most useless people on this planet Earth. The most weakest people. You know, it baffles me that when you come out in diaspora, they tell you that Nigerians are the smartest, they are hardworking, but these people are cowards. There is no place in the world before and now that anything that is happening in Nigeria has ever happened and there is no revolt. None of these places fighting a war today has experienced what the people who exist in the territory called Nigeria have experienced and are still experiencing. But the people are more interested in what they will eat for the day. Who is better than who? So I agree with you 100%, my brother. It is a shame that people still come out and claim that they are Nigerian and they have the, oh, I'm a doctor, oh, I'm a professor, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. The same thing goes to our people who lost over 5 million people and up till today cannot stand up and fight the people that slaughtered your own. Weak, chaotic mentality. That is what runs Nigeria. Thank you so much, Tutor.
Thank you, our COS. Thank you. Veteran Dragon 2, are you there?
Yeah, is my voice coming up, please?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. You have the
Okay,
mic,
thank
please.
you. Okay, thank you so much. My tutors, thank you for hosting us and bringing us together. I appreciate you. I've always done that, and I've been learning so much from you, and I want to salute you. Thank you so much. My COS is like this is my first time of seeing you co-hosting, and it's an honor to us who are always trying to learn and come to this place. I think it means that we can never lack people, even when as busy as you are, and if there is any vacuum, you are ready to fill it. That is wonderful. I have,
Veteran Dragon.
yeah,
Veteran Dragon. So
yeah,
sorry. You see, if there is any person, if there is any person that is supportive 100% in our spaces, is our COS. Yeah, it's not the first time. He is always there to assist when there is nobody to assist, and we really appreciate him.
yeah.
Yeah, so he has been doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you're talking about supporting, you don't need to tell me. There are things I know you don't know. So thank you so much for for saying what you just said. Anyway, I really appreciate him because uh, I discovered that at a point in time you were it's like you were looking for a co-host, and the way you just decided to take it up, it means a lot. It speaks a lot about his person. So COS, thank you so much. This war we are in, you have been contributing so much, and the Biafrans will never forget you. I appreciate you. Onye nwere, onye nyere. Eh, You know the grill. I salute you. Thank you so much. Every time you are with us, and you are always here. Thank you so much. Everyone is doing one thing or the other. My Eunice, our Deborah, I salute you. Thank you so much. Emeka, I salute you. Radiant Fury, I miss you a lot. And I sent my heartfelt condolence to you, and the Lord will strengthen you and all that you need to weather through The Lord is going to make it available. Just be strong. It is well. Professor David, thank you so much for all you do for us. Everyone here, Stanley, I salute you. Ben, thank you so much. So many of us here, NNAMDI, I salute you. Augustina, thank you so much. Elias, I salute you. Senator, so many of us, I salute everyone for coming around. Cyprian, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me salute our eternal leader who did a lot on our behalf. General Effiong, I salute you. Our first Prime Minister, we owe you a lot. Your sacrifices will never be in vain. Our Prime Minister, our Supreme Leader, thank you, who is today, with all the sacrifices you made, you lost your parents for this cause, but today we are hearing about 100 men when you already have the 100 men. Sometimes people are getting confused among themselves and it's like they are blind. They can't even see. Self-deluding themselves, causing confusion all about, everywhere. They should leave you alone wherever you are and until the Lord unites you back with us very soon. Thank you so much. Our current Prime Minister and active performing Prime Minister with the result, I salute you for all you are doing for us. Your work for Biafrans is indelible. Biafrans owe you a lot. You see, I want to come in from the last comment by Onyonyo, that why it is difficult for them to react even in the face of death. Because it is very strange and very, very, it is difficult to imagine why Nigeria should behave the way they are behaving. But one thing I have come to discover is the way the British amalgamated us, people of different diversities, and you see, today Yoruba man is in the power. If you want to rise up, just like what Igbo, you can see Igbo just changing overnight, and I can even hear, I don't know whether it's true or not, I'm still doubting whether he can say something like that anyone that comes to campaign in Yoruba land, that is Nigeria for you. So which means now that Yoruba man is in power, if you try to protest, they will tell you it is their turn. When Hausa man was there, or Fulani man, you want to protest, they tell you it is their turn. So this kind of country can never protest, can never rise up in the face of death. So if we continue to be that system, that kind of country, let me tell you, all of us will perish. That is just what it is. Danjuma did not miss word. He said you will all die one by one. So Nigeria is just what it is because the people of different values, different opinions, different religions, different kind of people are just sandwiched together in a particular geographical location. So it is very difficult for anybody to rise up, to say anything. Even in the face of death, you can't do anything. Your neighbor will tell you that that is my brother that is in power. Very, very unfortunate. So the only option we have, the only alternative is just to vacate that place, get out of that place. Otherwise, everybody will perish. But I thank God for the choice we have made. And we are the only people that can say, even if in our own is doing what is wrong, even our own son is doing what is wrong, we can be able to say, you are wrong. It's only the Biafrans who can do that. And that's why Nigeria is what it is today. It's only Biafrans who can tell their leaders, their sons and daughters, you are wrong. Cannot do it. Even now, someone cannot do it. And that is why they cannot say anything. You keep on killing them on thousands, they will never be able to say anything. That is who they are. So unfortunately, we find ourselves in this kind of, among this kind of people. But thank God we have made up our mind, and enough is enough. We just have to get out of this contraction called Nigeria. Now I'm talking about how a president, the chief of staff, defense chiefs, security agents, governors, parliamentarians, everyone will vacate a country in time of crisis. It's only in Nigeria this can happen. It's only in Nigeria there will be killings all over the place. And the president, the governors, the parliamentarians, the defense chiefs, the security officers, everybody will pack themselves and go to London. It cannot happen in any other country. It's only in Nigeria. So many things are wrong with Nigeria. Which one will you mention and leave the other? Nothing works in Nigeria. Nobody is normal in Nigeria. They have all been beaten to subjugation. They have been beaten and beaten to the point that they are in coma. They are in coma. So look at Tinubu with everybody. They are all out, leaving every other person at the mercy of the terrorists. How do you imagine such kind of a country? And look at them congregating and celebrating and drinking and dining and whining. And let me also say, this Britain, this called UK. I'm happy that our Supreme Leader laid a course on them, and it's coming to pass. That country is the present seat of Satan in this world, the way I'm seeing it. UK today is the present seat and throne of Satan. In all their deliberations, there is no press conference, there is no media briefing to say what is happening in Nigeria is unacceptable. No such thing. No public condemnation of the killing that is going on in Nigeria. That UK, nemesis have caught up with you. An old man like that crown king, an old man like him, a man that is almost close to his grave, as old as he is, if you do not speak the truth at that age, is it when you are dead you will speak the truth? When I'm looking at him, walking alongside with that drug baron, with pride, I just tell myself, we have no option but to disengage ourselves from people of that kind of character. Britain is gone. I'm sorry for those who are patriots in Britain. Their land had been taken over. Look at what happened in Australia. The Prime Minister of Australia went to solidarity visit in the mosque, and they have to drive him away. They drove him away. So there is nothing you can do to please these people. Practically nothing. There is nothing you can do. That is why when I see what America is doing, when I see what Israel is doing, I am so glad. My heart is full of joy. And it must be done and brought to a conclusion. It must be concluded so that we can have a free Iran. Look at the man they hanged. A wrestler, young wrestler. So this is exactly a replica of what Nigeria is. So whatever agreement they are signing is garbage. Probably since the amalgamation has expired, it may be they want to secretly go and renew the whatever they call it, the 1914 amalgamation. Maybe they want to renew it, but even if they are renewing it secretly, we are not part of it. We are not part of the agreement. We are not part of whatever deal they are entering into. It's very unfortunate. An entire government apparatus where everybody will live, just following one president. When their home country, where you are the leader, where you are the president, everywhere is on fire. And you just went there with your wife. And the wife, they say, is a pastor. Sometimes I look at people that call themselves pastors and I get vexed in my spirit. Pastors are supposed to be the light bearers. those who speak the truth, those who call black black and call white white. But look at that woman. They are all in London. And that prince, that king, your country is gone. So what can be done to this country to remedy? Nothing. Nobody should think about any. What pains me a lot is when you look at our people, you see them still politicking, you see them going about talking about politics 2027. I look at it, I shake my head. I say, what kind of people is this? What kind of people is this? So we'll keep talking, because since they won't hear, we'll keep talking until it penetrates. And I'm looking forward because most of the time when I look at our space, I pray, I say, God, how far does our message go? How far does our voice go? So I'm believing that this new project that our government is initiating will come on stream. And I know what is the only challenge we have is money, is finance. It's a J and a Gemma. That's the only challenge we have. And if Biafrans can rise up in one voice to finance and fund this government, the only government, I mean the only government that is doing what you can see, legitimately doing what you can see, is Biafran Republic government in Nigeria, under our Prime Minister. If Biafrans can wake up from their slumber in a united front and fund this government, we will not keep on. We will not be in this country by this time next year. So, Biafrans, we will not stop talking. Tomorrow is our fundraising. Let all of us be there, and let everyone, whatever you can, please go ahead and do it. I wish I can do as much as I wanted to do. But I thank God that God have raised generation that is making things happen. We are not going to give up, because giving up is death. Any step backward is death. So I want to thank everyone for everyone is contributing and doing one thing or the other. I salute every one of you. Thank you so much for today and for tomorrow when we shall gather. And I pray that Biafran should come in mass. The challenge we have also here is sometimes, even when we make our payments, it takes a long time before we get a receipt. But I know the government will look into it, and so that, because sometimes when you say you have paid and you don't have anything to show for it, it doesn't look nice. So thank you, everyone. Meditakan, I salute you. Please come to the mic and say it as it is, as we have always done. And these days, we are finding it difficult to get speakers. I don't know why. I want to encourage Biafrans. Please, when you are on space like this, everybody's voice matters a lot. Your opinion matters a lot. Just say one thing, even if it is a second, even if it is a minute, 2 minutes, it matters a lot. Because when we see a lot of people on the mic, it's an encouragement. You see, please, never you think that your voice or whatever you say does not matter. Everything you say matters. So long as you are genuine in this struggle, whatever comes out of your mouth will be of immense encouragement to every other person. Thank you, everyone, as we march ahead. Victory is almost here. Thank you.
Our professor. That is our Professor Veteran Dragon. The Baba in the house. We are not backing down, Baba. We are here and we will fight till we finish. Yeah, you don't need to wait for the receipt before you can notify that you've given your donation. All you need to do is to crop the amount that you've paid and let it also reflect the date that you've made the payment, and then you share it. Later you can receive your receipt. So receipt should not deter you from making a donation. Because if you are making a transfer, automatically you get a receipt after your transfer. Just crop out your identity. Let us see the amount that you've paid and the date, so that we know that it is recent. Then you share it while you wait for your state admin to issue your receipt. Okay, thank you so much. I'm still announcing. If you have anything to support us with, kindly do so and share your receipt. All your informations are confidential. Thank you so much. All right, so let's continue with the third agreement. We need to understand what happened in UK with Tinubu and his security chiefs that escorted him. So the third agreement that they signed was on trade, investment, defense, and culture. And so beyond the strategic partnership framework, the meeting with Starmer also have this memorandum of understanding. And I want us to understand exactly what a memorandum of, I know we understand very well, but for the benefit of that, so that we see that nobody is held accountable in this case. Because the Nigerian government will celebrate this as a concrete achievement, and most people will not know the difference. A memorandum of understanding is just a written statement of intent. It is not a legally binding contract, no. So there is no enforcement mechanism on it. There is no penalty for non-compliance, no timeline with any legal consequences attached to it. So it is a two governments saying, okay, we agree these are good ideas and we intend to pursue them. So the word intent is doing enormous work in that sentence. So Nigeria has signed MOU with Turkey. They have signed with Egypt. Anywhere they go, they must sign MOU. They have signed with UAE. They have signed with US. They have signed with China through BRICS alignment. And they've also signed with France. And now again with Britain. They signed the 2024, they signed in 2018. So each signing ceremony produces press release. They must make press release in any MOU that they sign. And each press release announces a new era. And then the security situation in Nigeria continues to deteriorate. So what is the essence of signing a MOU anywhere they go? Their own Chatham House says that any potential investments are unlikely to fix any potential investments are unlikely to fix Nigeria's struggling economy or reverse the structural drivers of migration, such as rampant insecurity and weak public services. This is written by Chatham House. So that verdict from Chatham House applies to every MOU that Nigeria has signed this week and the ones they've signed previously. So the words in those documents do not stop bombs. It doesn't stop bomb. The ink does not protect any market in Maiduguri or in Biafra land during Ramadan or off-season or off-Ramadan or off-festive period. It doesn't. So that cultural cooperation of MOU does not even feed the families that have lost their loved ones or their business have been shattered due to terrorists. You see? So it's just an ordinary paper. So Nigeria has signed defense and security MOU with UK, multiple rounds and all that, but still nothing has changed. And that is why Chatham House said, no discernible improvement everyday security. They've not seen anything that has to do with the MOU that they have been signing year in, year out, anywhere they go. And King Charles said a lot of things during their visit. And if you go back and listen to it, King Charles opened his speech in Yoruba language. These people, they know exactly what they're doing. He said, "E káàbọ̀, ṣé dáadáa ni?" You see? We know the meaning of this. I hope you are well. And he greeted Tinubu in his own language to buy over his mind. Oh, and we saw the crowd that, clapped for him. This is a good diplomacy and a genuine warmth to some extent. And I'm not against it. They have to greet him in his dialect so that he will feel at home. And he said, I'm going to quote exactly what he said. He said, Nigeria hasn't, we need to listen to all the words, all the statements that comes from this Charles's mouth. Nigeria hasn't merely changed. It has arrived. And he said, yours is now a nation of over 230 million people, half of whom are under 18, with the energy, ingenuity, ambition, and resolve to address the great challenges of our age. Did you hear that? I'm going to read what Charles said. Nigeria hasn't merely changed, it has arrived. Yours is now a nation of over 230 million people, now half of whom are under 18, with the energy, ingenuity, ambition, and resolve to address the great challenges of our age. Nigeria has arrived, right? It's a very beautiful phrase that this man used. Now, hold it now to this next fact I want to say now. He said 23 of those 230 million have been blown up. Are you aware of that? We know 23, they were blown up in a Ramadan market. Out of the 230 million he's talking about, 23 have been blown up in Meduguri. 20 hours before he said those words, Nigeria had arrived at Windsor Castle while Nigeria was bleeding in Borno, while Nigeria was bleeding in Biafra land, while Nigeria was bleeding all over Nigerian land. You see what the man said? He praised Nigerian diaspora. He praised the Afrobeat, all the Nollywood, all the Premier League. He was praising them. And he made jollof rice for him, for them to eat. And he said he hosted Nigerians for a jollof rice and tea party at St. James Palace, and diplomatically couldn't remember whether it was Nigeria or Ghanaian or Senegalese jollof. He just said jollof rice. Which one in particular? He did not understand. And the crowd were laughing at him. What really struck me in what this man said was when he made this comment and said, because all those ones were pleasantries he was making just to, make them to calm down and feel at home, that they are in the UK, they are with the king and all that. He said, I do not pretend that those roots are without a shadow. There are chapters in our shared story that I know have left some painful, my people, this is the time that connects to Biafra. Let's pay attention to what Charles said here. All other ones were just pleasantry and greetings and all that. That is not my problem now. The statement he made next was, I do not pretend that those roots are without a shadow. There are chapters in our shared history that I know have left some painful marks. I do not seek to offer words that dissolve the past, for no words can. You see? So Charles acknowledged the colonial history very well. He said painful marks. He did not say colonialism. He was very selective in his word. He did not say the massacre. He did not say 1914, when Britain stitched us together. Incompatible peoples to serve the British administrative convenience. He did not say that. He used the softest possible language, a shadow, painful marks, to acknowledge one of the most consequential acts of imperial restructuring in African history. He was dodging about using the exact word that he's supposed to use. And he went on to say the most important thing. He said, it was also a timely reminder of the importance of standing with you, and in us, strengthening your quick reaction forces, or in providing food, nutrition, and protection services in northern Nigeria. I'm reading what he said. When challenges disturb the age-old balance between these two communities. I'm going to read again what he said. He said, it was also a timely reminder of the importance of standing with you, and in us, strengthening your quick reaction forces, or in providing food, nutrition, and protection services in northern Nigeria. when challenges disturb the age-old balance between these communities. You see, he said challenges that disturbed the age-old balance between these communities. That is the King of England. Oh. That is his description of the jihadist massacre of Christians and the Boko Haram insurgency. Not terrorism, oh. Not genocide, not crisis. Challenges. He used the word challenges that disturb the age-old balance, as if the balance existed peacefully until some unarmed challenge appeared. He's very selective in his word. And he said the UK is providing food, is providing nutrition and protection services in northern Nigeria and strengthening quick reaction forces. And you know what quick reaction forces means? That means special rapid response military unit. So Britain is training Nigerian soldiers, and the king mentioned this at the end of one sentence of a state banquet, framed as warmed partnership, rather than acknowledging the scale of the humanitarian catastrophe underneath it. So the king mentioned the word security in a general sense, and he mentioned interfaith dialogue. So he and Tinubu met British Christian and Muslim community leaders earlier that day. And you could also see the wife entering the, what do they even call that place, to go and preach. And he was quoting the Bible. He bought a very new Bible to go and shine in the UK. A woman that just owned Bible for the first time, but she claims she's a pastor. He did not make mention of the almost 5,000 people that died religiously motivated violence in Nigeria in 2025 alone, according to the report from Watchdog, US Watchdog. He did not make reference to that. He did not say, okay, 23 people died in Medjugorje last night. Why did you still come? Why didn't you cancel your visit? He did not make mention of Lee Sharibu that was kidnapped from school in 2018 that is still in Boko Haram captivity. He did not make mention of NNAMDI KANU, their own citizen, that was sentenced to life imprisonment. No, never. He did not. Because a sensible king will ask him, nah, you would have cancelled this thing. Now, if it happens in my country, I will cancel the visit because your citizens' life and safety is more important. You need to mourn with your people like every other president will do. Why did you come? But guess what Tinubu answered him? Tinubu said, thank you. He thanked the king and the queen for their warm generosity, and he called the Windsor Castle a symbol of continuity, indirectly praising the evolution of British institution. And Tinubu said, they literally a genius, I'm quoting what he said, of William Shakespeare and other writers such as Charles Dickens has enriched and shaped the English language. Listen to what Tinubu said. In Nigeria, elements of these traditions continue to inform the institutional foundations of our own republic. Hey, our court, listen, our courts draw upon legal traditions rooted in English common law. Our parliamentary institutions reflect constitutional practices that evolve here over centuries. That was the response of Tinubu. Tinubu, the Nigerian terrorist president, at Windsor Castle, in the hall of the colonial power, that designed his country's borders without asking the people inside them. And he's there praising Shakespeare, praising Dickens, and English common law, and British parliamentary tradition as the foundations of Nigeria's republic. I don't know if you people are understanding what I'm trying to say here. He is busy celebrating them without acknowledging what those institutions have cost its citizens back home, without acknowledging that the legal system rooted in English common law is the same system that imprisoned Awonyendu, a British citizen. That same system has proscribed years back indigenous people of Biafra. The same system that has failed to prosecute those funding Boko Haram is a choice of breakthrough proportion for Tinubu. And if you listen to what he said that during the military era, when he was fighting for democracy, Tinubu also told the king he had to flee Nigeria. Listen to where Tinubu came to. He said British authorities gave him refuge and protection. So he was personally sheltered by Britain during his period of opposition. He expressed gratitude for that as well to King Charles. You see, we have to understand the pattern of what happened in that place he went. And I'm going to read exactly what he said. Your Majesty, I wish to express Nigeria's deep gratitude to these great nations for the refuge and support it extended during the dark years of military dictatorship. Like many Nigerians involved in the pro-democracy struggle, I found safety here. Yeah. And I recall that my residence was placed under Metropolitan Police surveillance. Are you listening? For protection following threats from agents of the junta. That solidarity remains etched in our collective memory. And it is deeply humbling for me to stand before Your Majesty today as the president of a democratic Nigeria. This is what Tinubu told Charles. Hey, a very remarkable confession that Tinubu made on that day. The terrorist Nigerian president at a state banquet in his honor told King of England that your country sheltered me. Your metropolitan police protected my life. I owe my survival and therefore my presidency to the safety that Britain offered me. You see? So that is a personal debt that Tinubu owed Britain. A personal debt. Can you imagine? So they shaped how you relate to the corridor. They shape which questions you ask and which questions you do not ask. Because Britain helped him. Britain sheltered him. So therefore, this Britain have to shape whose criticism you accept gracefully and whose criticism feels like ingratitude to them. Now, I also want you people to know something, that in that same Windsor Castle delegation is a man called Ribadu, the NSA, the man that called terrorists his brothers. The man whose job is to coordinate every security agency in Nigeria. The man who was in London for a royal banquet on the same morning that Murik was writing public statements saying Nigerians were dying under his watch. Ribadu, remember, I want to connect something so that we know what is happening. Ribadu was Nigerian pioneer EFCC chairman. I think between that 2003 or so. And he was the first feared anti-corruption official in Nigerian history, where he prosecuted governors and all of them. He jailed even police chief, his own boss, for corruption and all that. So he made powerful enemies everywhere. That time he was the EFCC chairman. And what happened to him in 2008? He was politically destroyed. So he was removed. He was removed as EFCC chairman. Okay, I've heard. He was removed from EFCC chairman. You see? And he was forced now to leave Nigeria after he was removed. He was forced out of his graduation ceremony by security operatives in front of national camera. They marched him out that time, you see. So he survived 2 assassination attempts. Yes. And then in that early 2009, after the second attempt on his life, Ribadu fled Nigeria, Bagaram. And where did he flee to? Britain. Hey! He fled to Britain first and then to United States, and he went into exile. So Britain also sheltered this idiot. Britain also gave him safety. He became a fellow at the Center of Global Development in Washington and a senior fellow at St. Anthony College, Oxford University. So he remained in exile until 2010, when the political condition changed and it became safe for him to return. Now, Tinubu fled to Britain from Abacha junta in 1990s. Britain sheltered him. You see, Britain Metropolitan Police protected his residence, and he returned to Nigeria when it was safe and built his political career that eventually made him a president today. Now, the same thing happened to Ribadu in 2009. Did you see? When the environment was okay, he returned to Nigeria when it was safe and eventually became Tinubu's national security advisor. So you see what is happening to these two men now. The president of Nigeria and the national security advisor. All their survival and in significant ways their careers as well, to the protection that Britain extended to them during their darkest moment. So both men were at Windsor Castle this week. You could see him gallivanting with the Minister of Culture, enjoying himself. He was feeling at home, riding in royal carriages and attending state banquets. Do you see the people that are leading you and you don't want to fund your freedom? So Britain understands this very well. Britain has centuries of experiencing managing its relationship with former colonial territories in ways that create exactly this kind of structural dependence. You shelter the future leaders during their moments of vulnerability, you educate them in your universities, you employ them in your institutions, and then when they return to power, they carry your interests inside them alongside their own. That is what Britain is good at. And Matthew Page, a former US Department of Defense official and a fellow at this Chatham House, said something very direct about Ribadu appointment as National Security Advisor. If you go back and read his article, he says, appointing credible figures to key positions is a time-honored tactic that kleptocratic regimes around the world use to inoculate themselves against domestic and international criticism. So he was talking about the Tinubu's government appointment of Ribadu. You see what is happening now? But the point applies more broadly because Britain benefits from having people in Nigerian leadership who are personally and professionally connected to Britain. So those connections are not conspiracies. They are, they are not even secret arrangements. They are just the ordinary consequences of who fled where and who was sheltered by whom. And those ordinary consequences have extraordinary political effects. So UK knows exactly what they are doing. I don't know if you are following me. So it is very, very important for us to understand. Maybe when we understand what UK is doing, we will come together and fund our freedom. For Tinubu personally, Britain is the country that protected him when his own country tried to destroy him. So he has a personal emotional debt to Britain, and this guy is going to do everything possible to please Britain. There is nothing anybody can do about it, including the wife. Because there is a personal debt. He's going back to pay gratitude. And then after all the praise for Shakespeare and Dickens, Tinubu now asks Britain for something. And guess what he asked them for? He asked for partnership in fighting terrorism in West Africa and the Sahel. He asked the same colonial power that designed Nigeria's fractures to help repay them. How will they repay? Tell me how they will repay. And the Britain says, okay, the MOU was signed, the security cooperation was deepened. And Chatham House has said this, said narrow operational gains from external security cooperation are insufficient without parallel progress on security sector reform, local governance, justice, and accountability. So in plain language, you can deepen the partnership as many times as you want, unless Nigeria fixes its own governance, unless Nigeria fixes its own accountability, unless Nigeria fixes its own political will, the partnership delivers input, not outcomes. We don't want to be in such country. We don't want. This man immediately turned and told what is his name, in a Downing Street, that we are facing terrorism from Sahel. Tinubu, conflict exacerbated by climate change and the pressures that threaten stability. Look at Sahel and climate change. That is his explanation for what is killing Nigerians. Climate change. Anywhere they go, they must use climate change. How? Boko Haram was founded in Maiduguri in 2002. Not in Burkina Faso, not in Mali, not in Niger. In Nigeria by a Nigerian man, Mohammed Yusuf. who was preaching in a Nigerian mosque, radicalizing Nigerian young men, receiving funding from OIC, receiving funding from Iran, receiving money from Nigerian politicians. And its first attack was on Nigerian soil years before a single military coup happened in the Sahel. So the Sahel crisis this man is talking about, the coup that happened in Mali in 2020 and 2021, and the one of in Burkina Faso in 2022. Niger one happened in 2023. All of that happened after Boko Haram had already been killing people in Nigeria over decades. So Tinubu reversed the timeline at the most important bilateral meeting of his presidency, telling Britain that the problem comes from outside, though, not from inside. And that framing is not accidental, because if the problem comes from outside, that means his government bears no responsibility for it. That is what he's telling Britain and everyone that listened to those interview, the session that they had. So no accountability for the politicians who fund terrorist group. That is what he's telling the whole world. This terrorism is coming from outside, it's not from inside. So therefore, no accountability for Kwankwaso. So he's not really telling Ralimo, you lied, because the terrorism is coming from Sahel region, from outside. You see? No accountability for the reintegration program that they've quoted 4.3 billion naira in Medugri. You see what is happening? No accountability for anything. The Sahel did it. Don't count us inside. So his own chief of staff has even exposed him, because if we listen to what Musa said, the same man who was in that Windsor Castle delegation with Tinubu publicly said that the international NGOs operating inside Nigeria were funding and training terrorist group. Musa said it. So what is Tinubu talking about? That the terrorists are coming from Sahel region, when his own Minister of Defense is saying that the NGO in Nigeria are the ones funding and training terrorists, not the Sahel. NGO inside Nigeria. His own Chief of Defense Staff said that. It is there on record. I don't know if I'm still being heard. So Nigerian Defense Chief is telling him, the funding is coming from inside. And the Nigerian president says at that forum, the problem is coming from Sahel and climate change. So both statements cannot be true at the same time. Either the terrorism has internal political and financial roots, which we all know. Iran is one of them funding them. That means they're saying that all the evidence we have are all false. But we know it is true. So you now see that Tinubu choose the version that protects him. After all, Gumi said it, that the government of Nigeria say different things to different audience. They say different things to international community. They say different things to their citizens. They say different things to senators. They say different things to terrorists. Now, for him to protect himself, he's telling Stama a different thing, that terrorism comes from Sahel region. You see? So he chooses the version that shifts every finger of accountability away from his government and its allies. And he chose to deliver that version on the record at the most powerful address in British political life. And Kama sat across from him and said, oh, our ambition is to, go even further than we have already gone with our two countries. No challenge, no pushback, no, nothing. But Prime Minister, your own defense says the funding is internal. He said nothing. The British Prime Minister accepted the framing that Tinubu gave to him. So they had to go ahead and sign the MOU. Because if he cannot exonerate himself from all the terrorism happening in Nigeria, then there will be no signing of the MOU. I don't know if you are following me. So the Sahel and climate change are now the official explanation of why Bonu is burning, why terrorists are slaughtering people, while they are showcasing the money that they get from terrorism. So this is what diplomatic impunity looks like. This is what happens when a government spends 9 million in Washington, D.C. to lobby and uses a state visit to launder its international reputation. The lies get laundered too as well. And they come out, the other side looking like official bilateral communiques. You see what is happening? And Chatham House has also responded. Tinubu foreign policy has been rhetorically published and sometimes strategically executed. But nearly 3 years into his office, the key question is whether this visibility-driven foreign policy has delivered domestic gain. So far, the president's prominent international profile has not. He said nothing has changed since Tinubu took over office. He said his trip and other senior officials have drawn criticism from their cost amid rising poverty, hunger, and falling purchasing power back home. Chatham House had to put up the cost of the trips of all of them that went with Tinubu. So while Nigerians are getting poorer, the government is spending money on international trips. And this is not just about the price of the flight. Think about what it costs to move 11 ministers, 7 governors, a Senate president, security chiefs and their teams, logistics staffs, protocol officers, all of them across to London for 2 days. Think about the hotel rooms. Think about the official vehicles. Think about the organizers, the pocket infrastructure. Think about the hospitality events. And this same Nigeria will carry hand on their head and say they are looking for money to fight terrorism. Meanwhile, they are spending that money, wasting it on what are so inconsequential. While Tinubu was in London, they were busy donating rice, 1,600 bags of rice, to get votes. While flying 11 ministers to Windsor, the government cannot properly equip soldiers that are dying in Borno. They can't even give them weapons to protect themselves. Nigeria's diplomatic capacity has lagged behind its rhetoric. Ambassadorial appointments have been slowed or seen as politicized, weakening diplomatic capacity to implement the administration agenda. This is what Chatham House is saying against them. But the question I'm asking is, if Chatham House, which is in Britain, is fighting against Nigeria, who are they deceiving? Because for them to come out and be writing all these things, especially this one, it is quite devastating. Because he's saying, you make all these agreements, you sign all these MOUs, you attend all these summits, and then people who are supposed to implement them, which are the ambassadors and diplomats in Nigeria, embassies around the world, are either not appointed or appointed based on political connections rather than competence. We've seen how India have already rejected the ambassador. Tinubu said, Germany, I've seen people are writing letters that they should reject them. Even which one again? Where is this Reno Mock Reserve? Mexico. They don't want all these ambassadors because Chatham House has come out to say that it weakens diplomatic capacity to implement the administrative agenda because the ambassadorial appointments have been slow or seen as politicized. So instead of Tinubu to nominate those that are competent, he's nominating them based on political connections. So you sign a strategic partnership with 6 pillars that was built up since 2018, 2024, and then your ambassador in London, the person who is supposed to drive implementation, is chosen based on who they know in Abuja rather than what they know about UK-Nigeria relations. That is what Chatham House is saying. So the building is constructed with grand architectural plans, but nobody qualified is hired to maintain it. I don't know if you are hearing me. So that is what Chatham House is exposing to the whole world, degrading all the ambassadors from Nigeria, that they are not fit for those positions. Why would you appoint people based on political connections rather than competence? So he said for many Nigerians, the combination of subsidy removal, the valuation and tougher taxation with weak safety net recalls the shock therapy of the late 1980s when IMF aligned reforms under General Babangida produced lasting social cost. And if you look at the comparison that Chatham House is doing, it is extraordinary because Chatham House is comparing Tinubu's economic reform to the IMF structural adjustment program under Babangida. We still remember that program, structural adjustment program that they say begin to eat 101 or 011 or 001. So it's comparing it to that Babangida time. Policies that are widely regarded as having devastated the Nigerian middle class with the 101 or 001. So the Tinubu government removed that fuel subsidy and devalued Naira. Why are we still crossing our legs, allowing ourselves to be in such a country when we have all that it takes for us to leave Nigeria and build our nation? All we need is a J and a Jemma. Just a little push. A little push is what we need. And Chatham House says, I told you that we are going to use this Chatham House article because it is a Britain article to help them to expose Nigeria. Yes. Chatham House says poverty remains high, food insecurity has risen, household spending remains weak, and credit remains expensive for small firms. Growth is concentrated in capital-intensive sectors such as finance and ICT, while agriculture remains constrained by insecurity and structural bottlenecks. That is written by Chatham House. So inflation is falling on paper, but food insecurity is rising in practice. We can see how people are dying of hunger. But if we have our own nation, such things will never happen because God has given us a good soil, a good humus soil. Whatever we put in our soil grows very well. We harvest it, we eat good food, not genetically modified crops. We can do it. We can do it. All we need is a J and a Gemma. Because all that Chatham House has put together affects Nigeria, not us. But remember that we are trapped in Nigeria. Even if you plant your crops in Nigeria, bandits will destroy it. You can't even harvest. But if we have our nation, we can plant, we can harvest. There is nothing that they will not release their cows to come and graze on our crops. But you are sitting down. You don't want to fund your freedom. Charter House said something. Let me tell you. You see, the no victor, no vanquish policy. No reparation for the Biafran side. Our business assets and bank accounts that has been seized during the war were not restored. They were not restored to us. And it is time for us to leave Nigeria. Our professionals who had fled are still roaming out there. We want everybody to return home. We want to go back home. Nigeria has been sold. You know, an academic study published in 2025 noted, and I'm going to quote this carefully. He said that the Southeast has the lowest number of states and local government areas of all the 6 geopolitical zones. And in Nigeria, states and local governments are the basis for sharing federal resources. So the Southeast gets the least resources because it has the fewest states. And it has the fewest states because of deliberate political decision made after the Civil War to fragment the Southeast territorial base and reduce its resource sharing power. So when Chatham House says Tinubu economic reform recall the shock therapy of Babangida era, they are drawing a comparison to policies that historically hit our region. Because Biafra land started from the deepest deficit. But we have a way out. We have 40 states in Biafra, and each state is autonomous. Whatever resources you have, you manage it and generate your revenue. Tell me what will be more better than that. Nobody will undermine you. No one will grab your resources from you. All of you will become your own domestic police because you must guard what you have. Because the economic suffering that Chatham House described is real across Nigeria. But it is concentrated most severely where it has always been concentrated most severely, in the region that has been systematically given the list, that has had its port closed, which is our region, we know. I'm talking about Biafra now. And the president of that region's country was at Windsor Castle this week, pressing economic economic reform. Yes, and forum as well, and asking Britain for more investment in Lagos. What happens to our land? We have been abandoned. We are on our own. We are on our own. The earlier we come together, the better for us. Chatham House said ultimately that most of Nigerians' work need to be done back home. Otherwise, Nigeria risks continuing a foreign policy that looks impressive abroad but fails to tackle the country's fundamental issues. That is what Chatham House said, the overall verdict that he gave. So you look impressive abroad but fail to tackle the country's fundamental issue. That is the British establishment verdict, published by the think tank that is patronized by the same king who was hosting Tinubu at a state banquet. So Chatham House publishes honestly. It does not coordinate its publication with a Buckingham Palace ceremonial calendar. So we need to come together and fund our freedom. Nobody will do it for us. No one. No one. We have to come together. Before we talk about our government, because I wanted that to be the last thing, so that a lot of people will pass the message back home. I will yield my mic here. I don't know if anybody have anything to say with this agreement that was signed and all that. For we go to the next phase. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you loud and clear. COS, our COS, do you have anything to say? Mazi David Nana, are you here? Do you have anything to contribute on that regard? It's like they are not around.
Yeah, it's okay. If nobody is there, maybe we can.
Okay, you can continue. I don't have any. The only thing I would like to say about
Okay.
the only thing I want to say about this UK, this Chatham House, or whatever they are being called, they are partners in crime with Nigeria. Forget about all these things they are writing on the pages of paper. If they are not partners in crime, why haven't they done anything about their citizen, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that was forcefully kidnapped by Nigeria? Why hasn't UK done anything about that? You see, these people knows the game they are playing. They are seeing that there is a wave that is about to shift. And they are seeing what America is doing and how it's going to change some certain things. What they are trying to do is to see if they can solidify the arrangement or whatever they have with Nigeria. As for me, UK or whatever they are being called, I hate them to the core. They don't have any good reputation at all. These people are gold diggers. They are always going to steal from people. Check how many countries in the world that UK or British have something they did with the countries. Many countries, name the countries. I say several countries UK have steal from these many countries in the world. So this stealing and this corruption and this criminality is in their DNA. So that is why they are partnering with these countries, all these people that have crime in them. So I am not surprised of whatever they are doing. I am not surprised of them inviting a drug lord, a man that is a drug lord, a man that's schooled as a